Brad up here with Gloria. Give her a big round of applause. Nervous. So, you're running away from me, are you?
You left me till last.
No, you're not last. I got one more after you. Just meant you couldn't drink so much last night. So tell me your story, Gloria. Might not be turned on.
Maybe not. Okay. Okay, where do we start? Okay, 2014 August, I saw you on the internet as everyone else has on their computer. Mm-hmm. And I had some equity. I'd been a single mum for a long time. I wasn't sure how to start in property, but I just knew I had to be in a better position. Mm-hmm. And I just knew I was the sole income earner, so what happens if anything happened with that? I had had back surgery and I was terrified that if ever I couldn't earn money, where would I be? I had no other income coming apart from, my own job, JOB. So I needed the knowledge, and I asked Barris, who's Property Games Kids, if he'd come with me. He was 19 at the time, and I'm very grateful he did, and we pretty much signed up that day. Mm-hmm. I just heard you speak, Dipna, and I knew when you said about being a single parent and your struggles and your challenges, and I just resonated. I was on the edge of my seat thinking, I'm going to follow that woman. So, yeah, I instantly believed in you, and I knew that someone who'd been through such hardship herself and with her children wouldn't do wrong by other people who were going through the same things, because she knew exactly where that came from. And yeah, so that was it. I was sold. I caught the Dipna Boholt bug on that day.
You joined the cult.
I joined the cult, yes.
So this was Barris in his Superman T-shirt there.
He did. Literally, he wore that, I think, a couple of times in every conference, and I went, enough. They're going to think you never change.
Does this boy bark? So you had the light bulb moment, and then it was like, oh my God, can I actually do this?
Yeah, I actually did.
Yeah.
I actually did. For once I started believing I could actually do this, because everyone else that were in similar situations, some with no money at all, and I thought, actually, you know what, I've got a bit of equity, so if I learn well and I attend every meeting and do my due diligence, I might just, be able to crack this, so I'll give it a go.
Give it a go.
Give it a go.
So your starting position, you've kind of gone through there.
Yeah.
A few, personal things on there as well.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. And I guess that's what the main fear was, that after going through all of that, child abuse, domestic violence, sexual abuse, single mum, Barris was 4.5. This is where it gets hard.
Yeah. But you got through it, girl.
Yeah. Lara was only one, my daughter at the time. Mm-hmm. And because my family were very conservative and I wasn't myself with them either. So it was like marriage was a way out, I thought, at the time. Mm-hmm. A new lease on life. Because I was with the perpetrator in my home with my family, and that was scary. So marriage was the way out, which it wasn't. Mm-hmm. But once it became domestic, abuse, after 10 years of marriage, I just said enough. Yeah. Enough. I just couldn't do it, and I had nothing to go anywhere, or I didn't.
In your culture, that was pretty hard.
Well, the incest wasn't talked about, because my family background wouldn't even allow that. My sisters knew, but that's where it stayed. And so that burden was with me for a long time. Actually, only till last year in August, July, I met Andrea, my now partner. But I've been a single mum for 2 decades. Thank you. Yeah. So he gave me the courage to want to come out and share this. My children didn't even know, so we had a good chat. We had a great chat. So yeah, I didn't want to lose what I had because I worked tirelessly to earn back my PPR.
Yep.
And we had a mortgage on it. I had $325 still owing. But, you know, I knew that there was equity there because Sydney sort of took off.
Yep.
I just didn't want to lose it. What would I do if I had to go back 20 years and do all of that again when I was finally getting to a place where I started a little bit believing in myself and wondering whether I was worthy, you know, of going forward and doing this amazing stuff that everyone else had done. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the knowledge was I was a smoker because, you know, stress, you know, coffee, cigarette. I wasn't looking after my health. All I knew was I had to look after my babies. I had to go forward. I had no other income. Child support was $5.28 for a month for 2 children. Yeah, because he had a subcontracting business, so poor thing. But yeah, and I was really overweight, and I can't say I was totally unhappy because I honestly tried to find the good in life. Like I really didn't.
Had your kids.
I did, and I didn't look back. It was just, you know, got to go, got to look forward, got to move on. And I found you, and that was the perfect place to start to heal, rebuild, all of that. So yeah, that was my starting point.
And I guess being female, it was an easier road for you to take too, as in me being female.
Having you was
a guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole thing. I was on the edge of my seat because I totally was enthralled, awed. I just believed in every word you said, and it's that light bulb moment where, oh my gosh, I think I can do this. So.
Yeah. And you have, and you're on stage with me here. So some of the action that you've taken, look at you there. You set your goals. What was the big goal that you're after?
So basically it was like to try and, I knew replacing my income wasn't going to be too quick, but that was where I wanted to start. Mm-hmm. I joined the Quantum a month after being an ultimate. Didn't take long. So I attended every seminar, we read all the books, all the audios. I drive an hour and 15 every day to work and back. So 2.5 hours of my day is your audios. That's how it started.
Fantastic.
Well, it was just a waste of time. I realised that all the ads and was consuming our lives, and that was the change, you know, and I'm sure most of you can relate to that. It was the change of putting quality into your life and changing habits, absolutely. So we got market ready, established our trust, we set our goals, you know, our vision boards, we did all of that, we made healthier choices. I started jogging, trying to think, you know, I couldn't run. I have to tell you this because it's, first of all, I have a disclaimer. If I cry and laugh at the same time, I promise you I don't have bipolar and I'm not schizophrenic. But I go through these emotions because there's so much change. But I couldn't. The story about the jogging was I'd run 5 letterboxes and I just couldn't go. But you know what? Every day I got to another letterbox and another letterbox. I now run. Thank you. I now run 8 kilometres without stopping, and my goal is 10 kilometres. So, a letterbox at a time, everybody. A letterbox at a time.
That's fantastic. Good on you.
And of course, I met amazing people, lifelong friends. There's so many in the audience. Everybody that I know, yeah.
So here's your PPR.
Yeah, so it wasn't great looking because who had time for that? You know, you're raising kids full-time. I had 2 jobs. I had no time for myself. So, you know, when we came into this, it's like I've got to start lifting more equity. We've got goals now. We've got to go look for things. And so it was 167 when we first purchased in 97, and I bought it back at 247, as you do in a divorce.
Yeah.
Because that house meant that I was safe, my kids had their school, Barris had severe asthma, we were our doctors, our locals, our neighbours. It was just security for me, and I didn't care if I bought it for more, I needed to have that. It was mine, yeah. So I moved back into that because once the domestic violence had happened, I'd moved out for a year, and after the settlement, I moved back into the home. So yeah, so that was a pick before the reno. We did the reno, uplift of 60K, and then I decided that there was more that we could do on the property. As you said, you know, look at what you can do. The current value is now 890, but it includes the granny flat, and we'll get to the granny flat next. But yeah, we changed all the floorboards. Didn't sleep for nights because my arms were so sore from painting. I'm sure everyone who's done a reno can relate to that. 3 days, it was like on the pillow. Oh my God, I'm dying. But we got through it. This is the backyard for a single mum, and I don't know if there's much of you in the crowd who's got a backyard. It was just maintenance. Oh my God, it was weeding, it was watering, it was mowing, it was time consuming. The kids wouldn't even play. Our generation kids are on the computers and on media and gaming, and no one wants to go outside and play. So it was my burden and no one else was enjoying it.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I always wanted to do something. So with the confidence that I gained here, I went and had a look at and did some physios on a granny flat at the back, and yeah, it took 12 months to complete, and everybody that does granny flat says 3 months, and it's not always that picture perfect. Council said no because we were on the back of the M7 in Sydney, so I'm from Sydney, and you know, they just didn't want to overturn their decision. Even the builders tried to engage in trying to get the approval across, and they couldn't. But like I said in the interview, Kevin Dudney's words was no, everything is negotiable. No is not an option. And I knew it was a great investment and a return on investment, so I persevered. And with one letter, and this is, I hope I can pass this tip on to anybody, one letter from an environmental lawyer to say that there was no reason why that could not go ahead, changed it in 1 day, so I got the approval the second day. Yeah. After 7 months of fighting with council. So that was completed. It looked great. It made use of the space. Cost us $120 to build, $5K to renovate, to landscape, uplift of 92, cash flow now. And, you know, I went to the agent and I said, what do you think we can get? She said probably around the 380 to 400. I said, I reckon it's worth 420. She just laughed at me. We got a tenant in there the next week for 420.
Yay!
Yeah.
And that helps pay the mortgage and do all of
Oh,
these
that
other
was
things.
tremendous. That was the first actual breath I could take when it came to, you know, a bit of relief with my income. So that was helping to pay my mortgage, and yeah, so that was the first breath we took.
Second breath looks like a big breath.
I don't know how we got into such a big reno here. But, you know, you get inspired and everybody has a story. It's like, I can do this, okay? So one of my, like I said, I met Andrea, and I have to give you this story. I've never online dated. I've been on my own for 2 decades. I'd been engaged once and that didn't work. So I thought, you know what, my kids are older, they're all out. You know, girlfriends and boyfriends, and it's like, what about me? I'm home every Friday and Saturday, and it's like, me and the TV, no, don't go well. So I tried, and I had a couple that I met for coffee and ran the other way and thought this was not for me. I have to tell you, Lara, my daughter in the audience, she used to take my phone, and every time I'd look, do you think? She'd go, no, swipe, no, swipe, no, swipe, left, 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 left. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to meet anybody, am I? And then, and then, you know, 1, 2 coffees later, I really did get scared. It's very scary. People don't trust everyone you meet. But, you know, funny enough, on the 3rd or 4th coffee, I chatted with Andrea, and it was just so funny. We just laughed because he said he was Italian. I said, oh, I know some really good Italian food. And he said, oh, I'm actually in the supermarket now. What would you like me to cook you?
Oh, that's smooth.
Oh, no. And then he's like, do you want to meet for coffee? And I'm like, no, I don't really trust men. And and then I thought, well, I'm online, you know, how can I? A bit contradictory. So I said, if we can meet for a coffee next to the police station, I'll come. So I bought a second phone, which that was the only number I gave out. I took a snapshot of his profile, where I was going, sent it to all my friends. if I don't come home, this is the man you need to get. It was just trusting people. It was just very hard. I'm very happy to say a year and a half later, this man has made such a difference to my life. And
Gloria, do you find though that when you do the work, when you do the personal growth and those things and you make the changes in yourself, that you become the person you want to be and therefore you attract the person into your life that matches that energy?
Yeah, 150, 200%. That's such, you have to shift.
You've had massive growth in that time.
I did, I had a massive growth. And the thing was, I think because I didn't release the baggage from the past, like I said, my family didn't know what had happened. And it was only until I decided, and again with Andrea's support, he kept saying, baby, you're better than that, you need to face this. And, you know, come New Year's where all my family was there, I didn't want to go, and he sort of got me to go there. But I can't, and he said, hold your head up high, and you need to attend that function, and you need to let them know that you're better and that you're worthy.
Yeah.
And, so I did, and I found after that burden was gone and I was able to talk about it. Oh my God, I'm talking in front of 650 people about it. Well, that's growth, isn't it? That the healing process actually helped me improve in other stages of my life as well. So that was...
It would, because it releases that energy.
It unblocked all of that. It unblocked it. Look, I honestly felt I was broken till now. And that was the last piece of the healing that I now feel solely whole. So thank you, Andrea. So yes, back to... So...
how does South Australia come about, considering you're living in Sydney?
Who knows? I knew I had to do something. I'd never been to South Australia. Actually, once, many, many years ago, to see a family friend for 3 days, and we literally stayed in the house, didn't really go anywhere. But it was a lower entry point, and we had to work with what we had, and I didn't have a whole lot of equity, and serviceability was going to be an issue. I was on a single income. So we thought, you know what, I'd done some further education, and I thought this is where, it just resonated with me. I thought this is possible with what I can do. So I showed Andrea and I said, what do you think? And he said, I think we could do it. We sent someone out there to have a look and they said to us, if it was me, I'd never go for that house. It's too old. But if you have a look at the floor plan, and now because we're slightly educated, we had a look at the floor plan and there was potential of 7 rooms. And the second dwelling, if you can see the entries in the middle, was like a granny flat attached to the house. So there was potential in it. It had 3 bathrooms. And I thought, yeah, we could possibly do this. So we called a plane, signed the contracts, came back to Sydney, waited for settlement, put in annual leave for renos, organised all the tradies before I'd left. So it is possible, definitely, like Nathan said, you can do deals that aren't literally in your own state. And I had every tradie ready to go on the day we were flying out to do the reno. So we did. We converted it to a 1B building, did a rooming house, did all those fire safety, everything that was required. I have to tell you, I don't know if you can see very well, but the cornices were hot pink. Like, this was a doozy. This was for your first reno, like big reno, that was a doozy. And the carpet had 2 layers, so you shift the carpet thinking it was over, there was another carpet, and then you shift the carpet. So the 3rd layer was actually stuck underlay, so we had to scrape off the underlay. So Andrea knows a bit about building. His family were all tilers, and we thought, okay, we can do this. And, you know, we worked hard. I took 2 weeks initially, from 5 a.m. till 11 p.m. every day, you know, and this is the sacrifices you make to get somewhere, I suppose. And we divided that was the lounge room. We divided it into 2, turned it into a common area and another bedroom, which created another bedroom. We set them all up individually. And the kitchen, IKEA kitchen, that is actually a good picture of the old kitchen. It it was really bad. But yeah, so we did that.
Positive cash flow.
It rents $997 a week at the moment. It's been fully tenanted since March this year. So 51 something thousand income and positive cash flow of 31K.
Well
which,
done. So it worked once, let's do it again.
Yeah, well, why not? So again, it was like replacing income again for me. So this one we bought for $210, and it was, I just threw it out there thinking, what if I could buy all the furniture with it, because it was all staged and it was beautiful and it was ready to go. Well, I was thinking, this is less of a work. We don't have to do a major reno. And we got the price at what we wanted it with all the furniture included at $210.
Well done.
Yeah, and we settled on that only in August. So we've got a tenant in there whose lease expires, and then we're heading up there to do the second rooming house. So it's all ready to go. We're putting applications in as we speak, and that's 22K positive after completion.
When it finishes being
When
reno.
it finishes being,
Yeah.
Reno's all done, it's ready to go.
Gloria, can I ask how much you earn in your JOB?
Look, for many, many years it was only 45, and I raised those kids with a mortgage and 45 a year,
Yeah.
so that was tough. Yeah. And but I never felt we went without, really, because my expectations were very
What is
low.
it now? What's your income now?
My
Not without this, just your job.
62K now.
Okay.
So it's
so out of
slightly
those
better.
two deals alone, well, with the granny flat and
Yeah.
those two deals, you're done. You've replaced your income.
Pretty much in just 3 years. And thank you, I owe it to you. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Because for the first time in 2 decades, I've actually cut down to 3 days a week.
Yay,
I've cut down my job to 3 days a week. Oh my God, so, yeah.
What are you doing there with my book?
Okay, so, so yeah, this program helped me gain a lot of confidence in myself, as you know, and the massive journey of self-development has been abundant and magnificent. 3 streams of income, love, I love what I do. I found love, I said that. Oh, Michael Dempsey, I've got to mention Michael Dempsey. Michael told me about him manifesting his partner.
So you wrote a list.
I did, and there he is, sitting right before you. Thanks, Michael. Yeah. So never underestimate the power of manifestation, people. Honestly, it works.
So what are you doing here with my book?
So what I'm doing is so I wanted to do some volunteering. I wanted to give back to the community. And I cut down on work, so I had a couple of days free that I could do that now. And that's only been recent, in a couple of months, just a couple of months ago. So I thought, where can I help that will make the most difference? I work in aged care, so I thought I could volunteer and sit with the elderly and do some socialisation. However, I put in the application and I'm a volunteer, but they couldn't actually marry me up with someone at the time because they had already had lots of volunteers. So someone told me about, and I'm not sure if you know, in Sydney there was a suburb called Mount Druitt, Bidwell. Mm-hmm. You know it well. So someone told me about this current affair documentary that was about Struggle Street. Mm. And it was about, it's a lower socioeconomic area. There's a lot of drugs, a lot of domestic violence, a lot of things, a lot of Department of Housing. So obviously they're all clustered in one area. It's just a really struggling area, as it was named. And I thought, okay, maybe I can make a difference here. And after my reveal and my self-healing, I thought I could actually help someone else. So I didn't want someone waiting 47 years before they can actually become whole. And I thought, if I can start with young girls, empower some young girls in that area before, and break that cycle. Yeah. So, they don't have role models, and, if Dipna don't, it's like Muhammad, if the mountain don't go to Muhammad, Muhammad go to mountain. If Dipna don't go to Mount Druitt, well, Gloria has to go to Mount Druitt as So I was an advocate for, and I was just telling them my story. So what I did was I presented a program to the cottage in Bidwell, and I said, I don't want to be paid for what I want to do here, and I'm not a qualified coach, but I've got a lot of love and passion and a lot of experience to bring. And I want to do an empowering program for the young girl here. If you'll have me, and Ivanka, who's one of the coordinators there, just put up her hands and said, it was only yesterday that I asked God for someone to come out here and sort out these girls. So she put me on. She said, when can you start? February, March. I went, no, I'll start in 4 weeks. Thank you very much. So I started. That's actually one of our programs there. I was just telling them how inspired I was by Dipner and the change, and I was showing them my vision board. And I was just telling them that anything in picture 2, you can see it was vision board. That was a facial day. We had vision board making was our 3rd day. So yeah. So I got them to put whatever they dreamed would be possible if only they had that and they believed in it and they looked at it every day like I did, that it can come true. And I showed them that on that vision board of mine, you know, things really, I've pretty much ticked off all but a few on there. Look at my hands shaking. But yeah, so I have a bunch of girls. There's 14 of them, and they've come religiously every week.
Good.
And I'm doing now one-on-one mentoring with those girls. So it's to get them a bit familiar with me and my story and what's happened. And then when they get the courage, they come and see me on a one-on-one, and I try and help them budgeting, goal setting, empowering, whatever I can do to make a difference.
Oh, good on you. So there's obviously some huge learnings there. What ended up with your final figures, as we said? You know, you got a passive income there of 74 across the lot.
Yeah.
Uplift on all the deals, but the uplift hasn't been your major focus. Your major focus has actually been the passive income to replace your income, which you've done.
Absolutely. And look, like I said, I'm the only income earner, you know, and what happens, you know, you got to look at the what ifs. You have a backup strategy for your deals. What about backup strategies for life? Who am I going to rely on? You know, who am I going to have? I live distant from my family, and our connections aren't as strong. They're getting a lot better. But yeah, so it was me. You know, I was the front man, and I had to take the responsibility, and I had to charge with it. And I just hope, and the reason I'm here today, in all honesty, is that this was very hard for me to do. It's like I said, it's only just come out, so to speak in front of so many people. But Divner inspired me, and if I can just do that to one person in here.
Yeah, very wonderful. Don't ever forget it. You make a huge difference. Good on you, girl. So what would you say? What would advice? Here's your beautiful children.
Yeah,
so there's man in your life.
Yeah, so can I have them stand up, please? I really think they deserve it. They've been my team, my power team.
Come on here, guys, come on up.
So,
come on up.
This is the power team. This is the A team.
So what's on the vision board now?
So on the vision board we have, I guess we're at the end of it. I'm going to make a new one for next year because I've got.
What's on the new vision board?
Definitely a subdivision.
Right.
Relocation. I'm actually relocating to Adelaide at the end of next year.
Whoa. Yeah. I assume you're going to.
if he's a good boy, Dipner. So that's where I'm looking at doing more deals, chunk deals, JVs, whatever I can get my hand on. And it's not just about a lower entry point. It was just that I've outgrown Sydney. Yeah. If I don't know if everyone can, if some of you can relate to that, who are from Sydney. It's the traffic, the busyness, and I want to start a new life, you know, and I think I can do that in property and Andrea, and my kids will always be there, but it's their journey whether they want to come along or stay. So But yeah, I need to move forward.
Big round of applause for these guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're next. Good on you, girl.
Thank you.
You look after that girl of mine. Thank you.